morning. I'm so happy to be here with you this morning. Graduation marks a significant point of completion and transition in a student's life. For these seniors, their upcoming graduation signifies that they have completed their high school education and will soon transition to the next phase of their lives, namely college. The caps and gowns that they wear are traditional garments that have been worn by graduates of academic institutions since the Middle Ages. Stratford graduates also don a white stole that has both the Stratford seal and the graduate's initials embroidered on it. You will notice that some of the graduates have multiple initials embroidered on their stoles. These are the initials of family members who have graduated from Stratford Academy before them. Graduation is such an important milestone in these seniors' lives. All of them have worked incredibly hard to get to this point, and each and every one of them deserves the special recognition that is indeed the purpose of a graduation ceremony. Some of you may attend graduation on Saturday, so you will see firsthand what this is all about. Since most of you will not be there, today's ceremony gives you an opportunity to see what our graduates will look like on their special day and to hear some happy memories that some of them will share with you shortly. We will also recognize those graduates who have been at Stratford for 12 or more years, and graduates who have parents and possibly even grandparents who have graduated from Stratford before them. Please enjoy this brief ceremony. I now turn the microphone over to a group of seniors who will share some special memories from preschool through 8th grade with you.
"15 years ago, we took our first steps into Stratford's Hall as we courageously began pre-K, unaware of how much we'd come to change over time. The few of us there instantly began bonding with each other in class and on our playground, which seemed so big at the time. In between playing in the sandbox and learning letters in class, we impatiently waited at the water fountain next to the turtles which always swam around. With our very first powwow, we first set foot on Stratford stage, a brave adventure into the mysterious upper school. After our spring Easter egg hunt, we ended the year with our first sprinkler day and excitedly jumped into pre-K. This year, more new friends joined us at school, growing our small class's size. While singing Witch's Brew with Miss Kay Wansley or dressing up for the Halloween parade, we begin to form some of our earliest lasting memories of preschool with the best friends we could ever ask for. From PE with Coach Collins to learning Spanish with Miss Holly, we start to expand the horizons of our minds, growing more curious and more energetic with every day. For some of our birthdays, we bring cupcakes to share, making everyone in class happy and teaching and showing us the joy of sharing. After mastering the alphabet and another wonderful sprinkler day, it is time for us to enter kindergarten.
We were now in kindergarten, and the girls were flattered to be in their new plaid dresses with matching headbands. We sat crisscross applesauce in our designated seating on the colored carpet, and the best time of the day was when our teacher announced it was time for recess, and we busted out the back door and spent the next 30 minutes watching the boys destroy the sandbox, which is now no longer there for very good reason. Right before Christmas break, we got to snuggle up on our new painted pillows to watch the Polar Express with hot cocoa and snacks.
We spent the year discovering our love for reading thanks to Miss Williams' weekly read-alouds of The Magic Treehouse and Junie B. Jones. For the first time, we felt like the big kids. Our days were filled with playing on the playground, looking for roly-polies along the fence, and chasing each other down in intense games of Duck Duck Goose. We let our imaginations run wild, coming up with silly games to play with our friends. We ended the year sad to leave preschool, but eagerly anticipating finally becoming lower schoolers.
First grade started, and then we got to move into the lower school building. The days were spent competing in spelling contests and math problems to see who could earn the most Della dollars. This might have made us a little too competitive because a couple weeks later, Sal and Isaac had an all-out brawl on Eli Shaker's trampoline. As the months went on and everyone cooled down and made up with each other, we gathered to cheer on the Mercer Bears during their enormous upset victory over Duke in the March Madness tournament.
All throughout the year, you could find us running to Miss Della's room with a loose tooth, crossing our fingers that she could pull it out, and we can earn the highly coveted plastic tooth necklace and carry our tooth home to our parents that afternoon. And who could forget the infamous underwear joke Drew Sutherland played on the whole lunch table, earning us a ticket to the fence for recess. We celebrated birthdays with crowns and class treats and tried our best to avoid having our worksheets filed 13 after bad handwriting.
Second grade started and we moved to our second year in the lower school. As we got older, we improved our spelling skills playing cherry pie with the whole grade. Everyone competed in the big circle in the little gym, hoping to crown themselves the champion of the week.
We spent the rest of our time dancing to Go Noodle videos and pretending to read in the lofts where we first discovered romance. We improved our science skills throughout the year with Brain Pop and Jolly Ranchers in Miss Pinkston's class, and we finished out second grade with a trip to the Atlanta Aquarium and a pool party, excited for third grade.
Third grade started with football season. We spent Friday nights running up and down the grass hill. Our grade competitiveness grew as we picked teams and created our own intense football games. We spent the school year trying to beat each other in rocket math and hoping to be on the winning team for our mini games of downer ball and PE.
We did all we could to get the most AR points to earn bragging rights from our classmates. The girls spent many hours fighting over who had the best Mr. Sketch marker collection, while the boys played mini games to catch the flag. We anxiously counted down the days till we were big kids and had our own lockers and new schedules.
Fourth grade started with our first rotating class schedules. Lockers were stored with not only books, but fidget spinners and gifts from Catherine Caldwell's fancy sticky note collection. With no TikTok to entertain us, all we had was Musical.ly. Our grade bonded with many field trips, one being the infamous Tybee Island trip, where through all the tears we dissected squid and covered each other in mud, while Drew Sutherland broke hearts as our grade's most sought-after bachelor.
We returned to Macon just in time for Colonial Day, where we dressed up as pioneers to make candles and churn butter, all while Mr. Reynolds continued to teach us about U.S. history. I'm sure all of us can still remember the preamble along with the Schoolhouse Rock tune that accompanied it. Mr. Reynolds would also go on to win a My Teacher is Tops award after being nominated by Carson Reeves, which would land us on the news, a mind-blowing feat for our fourth grade selves. Fourth grade would soon end, and we couldn't wait to be the kings and queens of lower school.
As fifth graders, we ruled the school. We were one of the few grades who still got to eat in the high school lunchroom. These meals consisted of mini microwave cookies and trading fruits with our friends, even if the teachers got mad. Not once, but twice, Catherine Caldwell came running to the lunch table to save the day. Ginny Jorgensen forgot to put water in her Kraft mac and cheese, leading to the pasta catching fire in the microwaves. Each time with Ginny's lunch being ruined and the lunchroom smelling like burnt plastic.
Fifth grade had many of us coming out of our shells and performing in the infamous talent show. Some of us girls sang our hearts out to a cappella from Pitch Perfect, while also performing in our iconic Woman Up dance number. The boys took part too, giving us an interpretive dance that ended with basketballs rolling all around the stage. We also took a great field trip to Columbus, where we spent the night bowling and getting in trouble for being too loud in our hotel rooms. We were sad to no longer be the oldest in the lower school, but we were ready to take the next step into middle school.
It's middle school now, the big leagues. We were finally the big kids now, excited and nervous all at the same time. Sixth grade brought many firsts for us and created many memories that will stay with us forever. Everyone was ready and scared to have the famous Mr. Lawson teach us ancient history while slapping rulers on desks and creating lasting nicknames such as Groovy Droovy. But no one was ready to meet Mrs. Smoke, the new science teacher who shocked us all with her snake Basil and her 7-foot-tall husband. Our very first dance is one to be forever remembered, the Whiteout. When DJ Flint would play songs no 12-year-old should be hearing, and we would sing our heart out to Sweet Caroline. Everyone was excited to have their turn to learn some Mandarin and drink some specialty, but no one will forget when classmates ran away from our Mandarin teacher, Xing Xing Lao She, to later be found the next day in silent break. 6th grade created memories that will last a lifetime.
The 6th grade was just the beginning of what the rest of our time at Stratford would really start to look like. Boys no longer had cooties, and we finally got over our fears and actually began to talk to each other. We had our first Spirit Week and did not disappoint when we showed up dressed as Camp Kikiwaka characters, Paw Patrol, and High School Musical. And even when we weren't supposed to be in costume, some of us still paraded around the halls in our cloud goggles. Valentine's Day was a big hit in 6th grade, and after a tap on your shoulder with a quick, "Hey, go check in your locker," we all ran to see what our Valentine had left us. Although, some gifts might be remembered as more valuable, for example, a bracelet compared to a Hershey's bar from the Eagle's Nest. We looked forward to Destination Imagination every day with Miss Morse, where we laid all of our acting skills out on the table. And even when we changed classes each quarter, we could not escape Miss Morse as she taught us Latin, where we showcased our drawing skills with portraits of Lady Rumor.
This summer, going into 7th grade, all of the girls gathered at Amy McGrath's home for a surprise birthday party. Now looking back, this party was one of the first memorable bonding experiences us girls has had. We were obsessed with making TikToks, and many iconic dance battles took place. The night took a very sharp turn when we all decided to gather in a closet and say something we do not like about each other. This was a terrible idea, which resulted in many tears, but also in some ways fixed some of our immature middle school drama. This still remains an unforgettable memory for many of us.
Science class was definitely different this year. Our discussion days with Miss Hanbury, where there was no topic off limits, we had Hunter ask the questions that we were too scared to. Then COVID hit, and suddenly we were having classes over Google Hangouts. That brought its own kind of chaos, like the time Tyler joined math class shirtless, or when the boys in chorus decided that for our last day, we would leave the call early and leave just one person alone with Miss Fenimore.
We confidently walked into the hallways as the kings and queens of middle school, but something was off. We spent each and every morning getting our temperature checked and constantly being told to put our masks on. Even with all the limitations, we didn't let COVID-19 get the best of us. With Miss McDavid out for a majority of the year, we had the infamous substitute, Miss Hill, who let us skip English class every day and play backyard football on the brand new soccer turf field. We can never forget when during a competitive game of World Cup, Dixie Ann's forehead went into Eli Shaker's tooth, forcing her to get stitches and Eli a trip to the dentist. The year ended with an exciting week of silent lunch after Miss Peth caught us playing hot potato with Eli's backpack, even though we thought we were smart enough to take out his computer before.
With our newly enforced masks as part of our everyday uniform, we were able to style them as we pleased, from the medical blue ones to the boys' favorite, the net gaiters. Masks had become part of our everyday life. Unfortunately, Miss Pet's history flashcards became part of our weekly life and were graded on something other than completion, although I'm not really sure what. Even though we were the rulers of middle school, we were still trapped in our homerooms to eat break and face the ultimate heartbreak of being able to only pick 2 friends for our lunch table. But that was meaningless when we saw our menu. FOJ, Elson, Chick-fil-A, Firehouse, and Europie. We were spoiled. The year ended with countless naps on the turf field and the scary reality of having to learn the high school hallways the next year.
Thank you. Like many of you, some of these seniors have been students at Stratford since 1st grade. We are now recognizing those students who have been together for 12 years. And as we do so, I would like to ask 3 special former teachers of these students to come forward to help me with this recognition. Mrs. Larson, Mrs. Herndon, and Mrs. Woodcock. Will you please help me give these students a gift? audience, we will read through our list of names, and if you will please hold your applause until the end. And seniors, if you will please come in front of the podium to receive your gifts. Mia Basine, Sally Butler, Catherine Caldwell, Lucy Cheek, Dixie Ann Clark, and Mary Leland Cozart. Dottie Cranford, Drew Doss, Caitlin Epps. If you'll please hold your applause till the very end. Thank you. Brooks Marner, Avery Geary, and Caleb Jones. Jenny Jorgensen, Anna Catherine Katz, and Eden Kovacs. Sophie Lee, Thomas Mann, Zoe McAfee. Emmy McElrath, Aaron Patel, and Rahul Pavuluri. Sal Phillips, Alice Rawls, Carson Reeves. Mary Frank Seagraves, Molly Edwards Seagraves, Eli Shaker. Matt Simons, Drew Sutherland, Philip Swift. Hunter Terrani, Kate Terry, Stuart Vernon. Robert Wilkin, Banks Williamson, and lastly, Laura Wilson. We'll take care of that later. You'll probably get extra special gifts if yours were left off the table, so this could be a bonus. I have two more very special guests to introduce this morning. In 2011, Stratford Academy added a program in the preschool for 3-year-olds, which we call beginners. The class of 2025 was the very first class of beginners. So I'd like to invite Mrs. Pat Smith and Mrs. Susan Jones, who are our first beginners teachers, to come forward.
Good morning. I am Pat Smith, and this is Susan Jones. And we were asked to come to this assembly this morning to recognize these very special seniors. Back in 2010, when Stratford opened its doors and welcomed this first group of seniors, they were called our beginners. Although Susan and I have since retired from Stratford, with over 61 years between us, we were the teachers who began this program. While we have a little more difficulty walking up and down the steps and we have a slower gait, I can promise you, boys and girls, that back in the day, if and when it was necessary, we could carry you on our hips. Today, we want to recognize these special seniors with a shout out and a small remembrance to recognize them as the very first beginner class. While we call out each name, we will ask you to come forward and line up in front of the podium. And please hold your applause until they've all been named. Thank you. Catherine Caldwell. Mary Leland Cozart. Dottie Cranford. Brooks Garner. Stephen Horn. Caleb Jones. Anna Catherine Katz. Thomas Mann. Carson Reeves. Eli Shaker. Matthew Simons. Hunter Tarani. Robert Wilkins. Brooks Williamson. Congratulations to all. Excuse me, and Drew Dawes.
Thank you, Pat and Susan. Good morning. I saw many of you at our senior breakfast a little while ago, but for those I did not, I'm Kathleen Medlin. I'm Stratford's Alumni Director. I'm a class of 88 alum, and I'm also the parent of a 2018 and a 2021 alum. So Stratford's first class graduated in 1962. And since that time, 4,385 students have joined their ranks as alumni. Many Stratford alumni return to Macon and send their children and grandchildren to our school. We call these legacy families. In the class of 2025, there are 24 legacy students, which is nearly 1/3 of the class. I think that's the biggest one I've had so far. We have 4 double legacy graduates, which are students whose parents and grandparents graduated from Stratford. Today, we are recognizing their parents and grandparents. And so seniors, when I call your name, if you will join your parents and or grandparents at the banner, and Mr. Hanley will take a picture. Audience, if you will please hold your applause until the end. Our first legacy family is Sally Butler, daughter of Morris Butler, 1993. Catherine Caldwell, daughter of Hazel Struby Caldwell, class of 1996, Butler Caldwell, class of 1996, and granddaughter of Hazel Burns Struby, class of 1970, and Neil Struby, class of 1970. Dixie Ann Clark, daughter of Dixie Butler Clark, class of 1987. Mary Leland Cozart, daughter of Ashley Leonard Cozart, class of 1997. Dottie Cranford, daughter of Laurie Lee Horn Cranford, class of 1989, and Jay Cranford, class of 1989. Mimi Cole, daughter of Elizabeth Eubanks Cole, class of 1995. Wes Flanoy, son of Jeff Flanoy, class of 1993. Brooks Garner, son of Courtney Brooks Garner, class of 1996, and grandson of Veronica White Brooks, class of 1966. Steven Horn, son of Steven Horn, class of 1993, and son of Baxter James, class of 1998. Jack Jones, son of Kristen Smith Jones, class of 1996. Thomas Mann, son of David Mann, class of 1989. Zoe McAfee, daughter of Tom McAfee, class of 1986. Sal Phillips, son of Carl Phillips, class of 1991. Alice Rawls, daughter of Claire Golson Rawls, class of 1993. Carson Reeves, daughter of Jenny Moore Reeves, class of 1995, and granddaughter of Holly Hill Reeves, class of 1980. Mary Frank Seagraves, daughter of Andrea Jones Cozart, class of 1993. Okay, Andrea, stick around. Molly Edward Seagraves, daughter of Andrea Jones Cozart, class of 1993. Eli Shaker, son of Brian Shaker, class of 1994. Philip Swift, son of Courtney Forrester Swift, class of 1998. Kate Terry, daughter of Ben Terry, class of 1995. Stuart Vernon, son of Stuart Vernon, class of 1998. Robert Wilkin, son of Kason Buzzell Wilkin, class of 1996, and grandson of Bill Buzzell, class of 1970.
Banks Williamson, daughter of Kim Ward Williamson, class of 1996. Wade Williamson, class of 1992, and granddaughter of Jan Jones Ward, class of 1969. Laura Wilson, daughter of Candy Newton Wilson, class of 1993. Congratulations to our legacy family.
Thank you, Mrs. Medlin. To all of our guests, thank you so much for being here with us today. We hope you enjoyed this incredible ceremony celebrating not just 12 years together, but all of our seniors making it to this exciting moment in their educational journeys. My warmest congratulations to each of you. We're excited for Saturday and hope that you won't be strangers. Thank you all, and students, you are dismissed.